he told my husband to tell his wife to erase his cell phone number from my cell phone.
Search for a man described by many as a pillar of the metro Atlanta community is missing. The commander at the Centers for Disease Control and named to Atlanta Business Chronicle's 40 under 40. Well, tonight, no one knows where Timothy Cunningham is. 11 Alive's Ryan Kruger has been speaking with family and friends tonight, and he joins us live with more. Ryan?
Yeah, Ron, the last time anyone saw Timothy Cunningham was right here at his work at the Centers for Disease Control. He's still wearing his uniform. He told his co-workers he wasn't feeling well. He was going to go home early. That was on Monday. Well, today, his family and friends passing out flyers like this one because no one has seen him since. You'll find Timothy Cunningham's big smile throughout his neighborhood in northwest Atlanta. It's that smile, his father says, is getting this family through the difficult time.
All of this is an effort to try and find him and bring him back home.
Timothy Cunningham is a graduate of Morehouse and Harvard. He was recently promoted to the rank of commander at the Centers for Disease Control. And last year, the Atlanta Business Chronicle named him one of Atlanta's 40 under 40.
He's a scientist, so he has a very methodical mindset and outgoing personality. It's been sort of a family rule that you will keep in touch with one family member at all times. Usually his default person that he's in touch with is his sister.
His father says Timothy speaks with his sister almost daily. Their last conversation was on Monday morning, and since then, silence.
He did not respond to any calls, and that in itself led to us wondering, is he okay?
And back out here live, another look at that flyer passing around for Timothy Cunningham. Police are asking anyone who thinks they may have seen him, call 911. Ron?
My first mind, something has happened, particularly with the length of time, it being a week, particularly with him not having his phone, him knowing that Bo is home by himself, and he loves his job. So, he would not just cast it aside like that.
No issues, no problems, no conflict, nothing that's been going on or anything that he talked about?
No, not that he has spoken of with me, no.
Yeah, thank you for your sister. Your prayers.
For him just to, kind of evaporate is highly irregular.
We're very aware of the conspiracy theories, and one of the things that we were sort of asked to emphasize, certainly by the CDC, especially in reference to some of the rumors, is that Dr. Cunningham worked in the chronic disease unit, which is not the infectious disease unit. He had no access to classified material. He would not be the type of person that, if you kidnapped him and held him, he could give you access to some horrific virus that could be a real problem for all of the rest of us. He wasn't one of those people that works at the CDC. He didn't work in that unit. So they don't believe that his employment would be cause for something like that to occur, because he simply doesn't have access to those types of things. We created immediate bolo and we released that information to you that he was a missing person. We've processed his home. We've canvassed the neighborhood. We've searched the immediate wooded area around his house with a dog. We've checked local hospitals and jails. We searched the cemetery crest lawn, which is nearby his home. We've gotten with the CDC and we've gone through and made sure that his government credit cards aren't being used. We've looked at the browser history on his desktop computer at work to make sure there's nothing suspicious on it. We've checked his swipe card activity. We know the last time he clocked in or out at the CDC. We've gone through his government phone records to ensure that that phone's not in use. And we've been provided some access to his email so we know that nothing suspicious went back and forth on it. We also conducted a flyover of the immediate neighborhood with a helicopter. We have some additional steps that we intend to take this week. We'll probably re-canvass his house, neighborhood, and the wooded area. We may go through there with an additional team of dogs. And we continue to follow up on the numerous Crime Stopper tips and other tips that have come in. Well, we're open to any and all possibilities at this time. We haven't been able to rule anything out one way or the other. So it's possible he's out there. There is none. There's no evidence suggesting anything. We have near unprecedented media coverage for a missing person in the city. So we are hoping that this level of media coverage will generate further tips or information that will help us find Dr. Cunningham. And that's really what we're hoping for here.
Well, way down yonder on the Chattahoochee, it gets hotter than a hoochie coochie.
Just into the 11 Alive newsroom, Atlanta police confirming that a body found late Tuesday evening in the Chattahoochee River is that of missing CDC worker Timothy Cunningham. Cunningham disappeared February 12th after leaving work early from his CDC office in Chamblee. On Tuesday, fishermen contacted authorities after discovering a body in the Chattahoochee River.
That's right.
The body was positively ID'd today by dental records as Mr. Timothy Cunningham. Yesterday, the autopsy was performed, and we had a tentative ID based on body identification marks. So the autopsy was completed yesterday afternoon. There was no signs of any foul play. Right now, the preliminary cause of death is drowning, but since the investigation is still open, we do not have a manner of death as whether it's an accident, suicide, or anything other than that.
This is obviously a major step in the missing persons investigation now that he's been located, and it's likely going to draw mostly to a close the investigation. We do have some other issues that we need to take up, but at this point, we have no indication of foul play involving Dr. Cunningham. We're waiting on an ME's report to be finalized. As she said, she's still going through the information to try and determine, exactly we believe it's drowning, but we want to make sure there's no other indicators or other problems, and we need to see if there's a tox screen that comes back that may tell us something. But, we're waiting on some reports, but largely I want to emphasize that to this point, there's been no indicators of foul play.
The body was found along the bank of the river. I believe it was the western shore of the river going downstream, and it was found face up. It was stuck in a lot of mud as well, and it looks like it has been there in that position for a little while.
His wife to erase his cell phone number from my cell phone.
That's right.